Hey everybody, welcome back to LeftPawGaming. Today we've got some more of my walkthrough footage of Lost Judgment. Last video, we finally partnered up with Watanabe, the detective who's investigating Hiro Mikushiba, and we got a new device from Tsukumo, an investigatory device. This video, we're finally going to talk to Sayori and investigate the train station. So let's jump in. Tsukumo out there trying to get caught. I hope we give him a stern talking to when we get back in here. Phone call. Tsukumo in trouble again.
Hello?
Yagami-san, do you have a minute?
Oh, hey. Oh, we didn't call her back yet.
Oh, I was just about to call you. I was gonna say I've got some leads on the murder. By the way, you wouldn't happen to know a Detective Watanabe, would you? From Kanagawa PD?
Oh, yes. He came asking me about the harassment case.
Oh,
Apparently
that guy.
he couldn't interview Ehara, so he got us instead.
Wanna know why that is? Apparently Tokyo PD suspects Ehara might be linked to the murder in some way. And since they don't want Kanagawa stealing the show, they're blocking their investigators out.
Kind of bogus.
That does make sense. Not in a bureaucratic way.
By the way, when's your next appointment with Ehara?
As soon as we're ready, honestly. Did you want to come along?
Yes, I did.
Yeah, I was just about to ask that.
Like 2 tickets, please?
But I'd like to do a bit more research beforehand. I want to know exactly how Ehara's crime played out.
Funny you should say that. Hoshino-kun just told me he's going to re-inspect the crime scene tomorrow.
Oh, perfect.
He said it'd be best to plot Ehara's movement from Ikebukuro all the way to Shinjuku, where he was caught.
No kidding. Then I ought to go with.
If that's the case, hold on one sec.
Okay.
Yagami-san?
Oh.
It's me, Hoshino.
Hoshino.
I'm stoked to hear you'll be helping me out tomorrow.
I'm stoked to be there. Oh, and could you bring the statements from Ehara's arrest with you? It'd be a huge help if you could walk me through what happened on site.
You got it. We'll be starting from Ikebukuro Station, so just meet me there tomorrow.
Works for me.
Will do. See you then.
Well, that's going to be some good stuff. So we're going to go to the train station and deal with the rest tomorrow. I think it's time to recharge. Agreed. It's going to be good to go to that train station kind of... I'm assuming we're going to walk the path that Ehara did during his little groper incident. I mean, we all know the groper thing was a cover-up. I mean, come on. So let's rest and see how the day begins. Get some rest. All right, hey, I love getting money for just going to sleep. Hoshino-kun at the Ikebukuro station. Probably best to take a taxi. Sweet. My usual taxi, just waiting for me at the corner. Got this guy on a retainer. Look at all that money we got, 202,000. So I see it's the top one, but it's not even like on the map. Huh. Okay. Probably just a random addition for the mission at hand.
Okay, see that sign right there? Ehara was leaning on that before the incident. Yep, just like that. He was standing around searching for a victim. Ehara's the man in the cap and sunglasses.
Oh, we're gonna see more footage. Awesome. He is looking super suspicious. Well, I mean, to be fair, almost
So,
anybody...
Ehara was lingering at the platform a while, huh?
Yeah, he walked past the ticket gate at 7:43 a.m. This was confirmed by the security tapes as well as when he swiped his transit card. After that, he wandered the platform an entire hour ogling women.
Oh, God.
He spent that long choosing a target?
Yeah, sick, isn't it?
Then the security camera that caught him would be... that one?
That's right.
Well, maybe he needed time. Maybe he needed to spend that much time to pick a target.
Anyhow,
to make
at
sure he
9:06
wasn't mixed up
Ehara
with...
finally honed in on his would-be victim. Then he boarded her train, which was departing for Shinjuku.
She's the one in the pink cardigan and white skirt?
Yeah, Yui Mamiya, an office worker and mother of a 6-year-old boy. The two of them show up on the train's interior cam as well. According to the victim's statement, Ehara began by rubbing her posterior with the back of his hand. But it didn't stop there. After that, he put his hand up her skirt.
Oh, God. You can kind of tell he's
Sickening.
doing something there.
I'm assuming he targeted someone shy, thinking she wouldn't resist. Makes me angry just thinking about it. The victim stated she was too scared to call for help, meaning she endured this for 6 minutes until the train reached its stop in Shinjuku.
Jesus.
Can you send what you just showed me to my phone?
Sure. Now let's head to Shinjuku Station. Then we can watch as the jerk gets busted. Even if we did defend him in court, an asshole's still an asshole.
He's not happy at all. What I was trying to say earlier is almost anybody by themselves just waiting around, whatever
Looks like
they're
we're
waiting
getting close
for,
to Shinjuku.
looks suspicious. At least to me. I don't know.
The train's pretty light right now.
Probably why I'm
but
not
it was
a cop,
packed
I'd be
during the
terrible.
crime, right?
Oh yeah, the car occupancy at that time of day can easily reach 180%.
And Ehara should have been standing roughly where I am.
Oh, sweet. We'll get to investigate a little bit. What do we got? Here we go. Something to look for. Anything up high?
Suspicious.
Oh, yep, camera. These were installed to deter train gropers, or at the very least, identify them. Yeah, it helped. Alright, so Shibuya, Shinjuku.
Ehara and Mamiya-san both exited the train and got onto the platform here.
Sweet.
But right before that, Mamiya-san suddenly grabbed Ehara's wrist and yanked his hand out from under her skirt. That's when she got a good look at her assailant.
Okay.
So without a doubt, she saw it was him.
Yes, and there were also traces of her garments on his hand during evidence analysis. Anyway, after being grabbed, Ehara wrenched himself free and took off at a sprint.
Interesting.
See, here he gets off the train and bolts across the platform. And Mamiya-san chases after him, asking people around her for help.
This is what they kept looping on TV.
Okay, so we've seen this part before.
Yeah.
But what else are we
And
missing?
honestly, with all this evidentiary footage, defending him in court was a lost cause.
Was there any security footage that wasn't aired on TV?
Probably
Sure,
loads of
take
it.
a look around you. There's more than just one camera pointed at us. They're practically everywhere.
Oh, yeah.
As for what I was saying earlier, Ehara was finally tackled right in front of those stairs. Oh, right. I have a diagram of the platform to show you.
Nice.
So Ehara gets off the train here, and then gets apprehended here.
Oh my
How
god.
far apart is that?
Roughly 100
4
meters.
train cars.
Both he and the victim were weaving their way through the crowd. The whole scene was very chaotic. Even after Ehara was caught, the train was stalled 20 minutes until the area was deemed safe.
Jesus.
Hey, you think we could get the positions of all these cameras and where they're pointing penciled in?
That would help a ton. I think, at least.
Good idea. Let's check each camera's position as we walk over to where Ehara was detained. That's where he got tackled, so if you could let me know whenever you see a camera. I can mock it up on our diagram here.
One camera. Anything further down this way? Let's go down this whole side. Oh no, we get blocked off. This ain't the end of it, is it? This is where they got off.
What the?
We're probably gonna do this in sections then. Okay. Okay.
Suspicious.
That one's not even in the section. Ah, this guy. Boom!
Looks like we checked all the nearby cameras. Let's go up a little further now.
Alright, up a little further. Okay, so we are doing it in sections, just like I thought. Cool. This one. Yeah, yep, here's another eye
Suspicious.
camera.
What
This guy's
the?
in here. Alright, so we got these 1, 2, 3. Maybe just around this. Is this like a little elevator? Yeah, it's an elevator, so we'll go around this.
Uh-huh.
Nothing. Is it gonna let us go down farther? Oh god, this section's way bigger than the last one. Okay, okay, there's a little eye camera sitting right here.
Suspicious.
Alright, let's see. Dang, it's letting us go a long way. Here we go.
What the?
Oh, nice, that's it.
Looks like we checked all the
Seems
nearby
uneven.
cameras. Let's move
The
on.
amount of cameras that are out there. So we'll go further up still. I know there's this guy.
Hey,
Boom. Let's see anything over here.
suspicious.
This one. Okay. The problem is, I would assume that like the eye cameras are in the middle, and the more boxy cameras would be on the outside, but that hasn't really been the case, has it? These are just kind of
What the?
wherever. Like, look at this dangling eye camera right here.
Suspicious.
Why is this one on the outside like this? I don't understand. And they're not even in, I guess, what I would deem as more logical kind of positions. So there's this one sitting right here in the middle. Is this gonna be it?
Hey,
Yeah.
Okay, looks like we got all the
Okay.
cameras. Our diagram is now complete.
Didn't make the most sense to me from a camera standpoint, setup standpoint. Jesus. This diagram represents the station at the time of the groping. Ehara got off the train at 9:12 on October 7th. Okay, so 2 sets of stairs, and you got the platform, exit over there, the 4 train cars. I think the first like square spot is an elevator, and then the like longer rectangle closer to where it was apprehended is just a signpost or something. So he stayed on the side closest to the train and then centered himself more so as he got closer to the platform. How long was this like path taken? Was this just like a couple of minutes where he went from the disembark point to the apprehension point?
Now we'll pencil in the camera locations and
let's
what
see.
directions they're
I
pointing.
kind of talked a little bit longer there, just throwing my stuff out there. Okay, God, look at all this. Yeah, see, all these eye cameras should be in the middle. Like, why are there 2 of them near the last car towards the apprehension point, facing the opposite way? But I'm curious about this. What is this point here? This is a gap. Right, so we'll look here. This is where he jumped off at.
hey,
Here's the gap. So it looks like 2 more things we have to look up. Okay, kind of a pointless thing to really look at. All right, what else? It's probably just gonna be along this path, I bet. Where he was grabbed.
suspicious.
Yeah, I bet the TV stations shell out for this sort of thing. Yeah, I wouldn't be surprised.
Uh-huh.
So this was the general situation when Ehara committed his crime. What do you think, Yagami-san? Anything of note?
Do you think Ehara and Mamiya-san were riding the train pretty frequently?
Oh yeah, Mamiya-san commuted by train. She was here every weekday. Same goes for Ehara, actually, but he was off that day. Supposedly, he was going to see his wife, even though they're separated.
Interesting.
Did he ever say why he wandered around the platform for an hour?
He said the thought of his wife had him flustered, and he couldn't force himself to board the train.
He didn't look flustered,
He
though.
always had an excuse ready for anything you asked him, including the harassment charges. He pled not guilty, but the evidence said otherwise. There wasn't a single argument we could make in court to establish reasonable doubt.
Safe to say he did it. But on the same day, he knew his son's bully would be murdered in Ijincho. Pretty clear it wasn't a spontaneous need to grab some ass.
True.
I agree. It's almost like all the commotion around the harassment might have been planned out. Maybe everything was, even down to getting captured.
Even down to how long he spent at the train station.
He really played everyone by turning harassment into an alibi for murder. No matter how much evidence points to him as a killer, he can deny it with complete immunity.
This is getting crazier by the minute.
At the very least, he had something to do with it. Some connection. But I can't imagine he'll talk. Whatever his plan is, it's pretty clear Ehara is committed.
To what? Getting revenge for his son?
I think so.
Who do you think his accomplices could be? Ehara's a veteran cop. Think maybe he knows how to hire an actual assassin?
I think he
If
knows a lot of
so,
things.
he could have just paid for his revenge, right?
Sure. But assassins cost an arm and a leg. He wasn't rich before all this, was he?
No. He barely scraped up enough to cover his lawsuit against the school.
Thought so.
Phone call.
Hey, it's Shiosaki.
What's up, Sari-san?
I'm scheduling an interview with Ehara tomorrow at the Tokyo Detention Center.
Beautiful.
We'll take a taxi from Genda's if that all works for you.
Sounds good. But I need to head back to Ijincho for now.
Something you forgot to do?
Yeah. It involves Ehara's motive, which would be without a doubt his son's suicide. So I want to confirm if Mikoshiba really bullied the kid. And the best person to ask happens to be down in Ijincho.
All right. Then I'll let you get to it.
Cool. Then I'll see you tomorrow.
Well then. So now where are we going? Oh, we're back. All right. Evidence updated, okay. Oh, talk to Sawa. Oh boy. Is this gonna be the conversation that we get everything we need from her? We find out why she kind of talked a little bit differently about Mikoshiba. Oh man, I'm so curious. I mean, it's still super early in the game, so we're gonna get certain revelations now. I do like how the game, you know, strings you along in a very interesting way. Now we have enough ammo to really hit... Oh boy, to really hit Sawa-Sensei right here. She's still not looking the best. She's about to get pissed, and we're about to say, listen, we know.
Got a minute?
No, not for you. I really have nothing more to say.
I think you're wrong.
What if I told you it's looking more and more likely Ehara-san had a hand in Mikoshiba's death?
Well, it doesn't concern me.
Wrong.
Ehara-san believes Mikoshiba tormented Toshiro-kun so badly that he took his own life. But neither the third-party investigation nor the courts were on his side. So what's the truth here? You know, don't you? What really happened between Mikoshiba and Toshiro-kun? Why won't you tell me the truth?
Why do you keep asking? I said I don't know!
You're lying.
I'm going to the detention center tomorrow to get some answers out of Ehara-san.
What?
I saw where Mikoshiba was murdered. He endured no shortage of cruelty before he died. They tortured him, you know. They broke all his fingers before they slit his throat.
Oh my god, you're telling her that stuff? Jesus.
And somehow Ehara-san knew Mikoshiba would be killed on the day he got caught for groping. It's like he did it to prove he had nothing to do with the murder. But maybe that wasn't his real objective at all.
We are really digging in.
I think he wanted to signal that he'd finally avenged his son.
The body belongs to a guy named Hiro Mikoshiba. 4 years ago, this man took my son from me. by driving him to commit suicide.
If I'm gonna face him tomorrow, I can't go in without some ammunition. So, 4 years ago, did Mikoshiba bully Toshiro-kun or not? That's all I want to know.
My answer won't change. There's no evidence Mikoshiba-kun did anything wrong.
Oh, you're
Are you
BSing us.
sure about that? Take a look at this.
That's...
Toshiro Ehara, your student. Imagine that he's listening to what you're saying now. If you can look at him and say Mikoshiba played no part in his death, I'll leave you alone. In fact, you'll never hear a word from me again. So which is it?
Oh, she's gonna break. Oh.
4 years ago. Not long after I'd transferred here to teach English. That's when it started. I was trying my best to get acclimated, and I was finally on a first-name basis with everyone. One day, after school, I was out on the roof taking a break, when Toshiro-kun suddenly ran by. I called out to him to ask what was wrong, but he shushed me and kept running. I saw he had a bloody nose.
Oh my god.
Moments later, Mikoshiba-kun showed up. He was looking for him. I told him I hadn't seen him. Toshiro-kun's face told me everything I needed to know.
So Mikoshiba was bullying him after all.
Yes. Toshiro-kun told me this later on. Whenever he'd leave school with Mikoshiba-kun and his friends, they'd force him to hand over money.
What?
At first, they'd try to pass it off as a joke. They said since he lowered the class average on tests, he ought to buy them all drinks as an apology.
Ugh.
And Mikoshiba-kun, he was having too much fun with it to stop. He started offering tutoring sessions to Toshiro-kun. Only so he and his crew could extract their tuition from him. They'd even break into his house while his mother was at work and take the money she left him for dinner.
Seriously?
And if he couldn't pay, they'd beat him up at school or make him grovel in the bathroom.
Didn't anybody see what was really happening?
The teachers either saw nothing or turned a blind eye. Few students knew about it, though.
Wow.
Anyway, I ended up relaying everything Toshiro-kun had told me to those boys' homeroom teacher. Mind you, this teacher had tenure, title, and years of experience under his belt. Do you know what he told me? He said not to cause a commotion because those boys were about to graduate.
Seriously?
Why does that not surprise me?
To be honest, it was hard to paint such an outwardly model student in a negative light. There was also no hard evidence to support Toshiro-kun's story. But someone still should have stepped in to help. If only I'd understood that at the time.
No wonder why she wasn't really talking.
You tried.
The only thing I tried was to keep an eye out for him, making sure he wasn't alone, things like that. But unfortunately, that wasn't good enough. On the first morning of the 3rd trimester, Toshiro-kun tied a towel to his doorknob and hung himself in his room.
And that's when you confronted Mikoshiba, right? You asked him point blank if he'd bullied him.
I did.
Wow. I'm a little stunned. So why did she keep it for herself?
Mikoshiba-kun pretended to know nothing. He was more careful, shaken even, from then on. In all honesty, when I heard a third-party committee was investigating, I was hoping the truth would come out. Students were asked to fill out an anonymous questionnaire, and many of them wrote down exactly what they saw.
Hold on.
So there's evidence.
Didn't the court end up declaring there was no substantial evidence of bullying? How could they have said that with those
It
questionnaires
was
on it?
destroyed.
First of all, the committee never interviewed anyone directly. Those questionnaires were the only proof of anything. And the teacher of those boys was the one who collected them. Each time he came across any mention of bullying, he'd toss that questionnaire out.
Oh my god.
Also, he wouldn't get blamed in the end for ignoring the warning signs.
So then the committee was pointless.
Don't tell me this was a chairman.
A few students did speak up about the bullying online, but their posts weren't much to go on. Toshiro-kun's parents were completely caught off guard.
Probably not.
His mother worked through the day, and his father lived all the way in Tokyo. That made it that much easier for the teacher to cover up all the evidence of bullying.
Oh
He
my
made
God.
that statement without even consulting the principal or the chairman. So,
Okay, so
right before
probably the same
Miko-shiba-kun
chairman.
graduated, the committee presented their findings. That there was no evidence of bullying. The conclusion you've heard over and over.
What the hell?
In Japan, 300 children commit suicide every year, across all grades. Less than 3% are proven to be linked to bullying. Toshiro-kun's case ended up like that too.
it's terrifying.
But Ehara-san wasn't satisfied with those findings. So he sued Seiryo High, demanding compensation for Toshiro-kun's death. As the trial dragged on, I was eventually called to the witness stand. Of course, my intention was to let everything I knew out into the open. But before that could happen, that damn teacher came with the school's attorney to see how I would testify.
They didn't want you making them look bad, huh?
Oh my
Of course
God.
not. That's when I first learned what he did with those incriminating questionnaires. They had no choice but to reveal everything to me, to try and sway me to their side. I guess they were just that desperate.
That pitiful. Not desperate, pitiful.
After all, I was the only adult who Toshiro-kun confided in. I don't think he'd spoken to his parents about it once. So yes, that's why there was never any objective evidence of bullying. It wasn't like I had a mind to record our conversations. And I hadn't personally witnessed it either. The school attorney saw fit to remind me that the law says innocent until proven guilty. And if I couldn't produce tangible evidence, then I shouldn't be accusing Miko-shiba-kun.
So it was witness tampering. That is, they coerced you into false testimony?
Yes.
Must have been incredibly hard on you.
What I should have done was told the truth regardless. But what else could I have really done for him? Some days I just don't know.
It's a terrible situation
As much
to be
as I've
in.
tried to convince myself I did everything I could for him, I can never fully believe it.
So what happened to the teacher who covered all this up?
He transferred to another school.
Of course.
To think he's still standing at a podium somewhere.
That's unfortunate.
Even so, I don't have the right to place the blame solely on him.
Ooh, yeah. How did Ehara find out that it was actually Miko-shiba? Interesting.
Maybe, but in that case, Miko-shiba's bullying of Toshiro, or those questionnaires getting discarded. Have you ever told anyone else?
No. I've been silent. Yagami-san. You know what? Back when I was a student in high school, I witnessed bullying firsthand. There was this kid. My classmates pushed him too far. And one day he just jumped off the roof.
Oh my God.
Off the roof?
The roof?
By some miracle, he survived the fall. And he's been in a coma for the last 13 years. Nobody knows if he'll ever wake up. His name is Mitsuru, and he may never open his eyes to the world again. His mom watches him, but she works full-time. She's a higher-up in the government.
I'm sorry to hear it.
The worst part is that his teacher knew. He even talked to the bullies about it. But all he said was, don't overdo it.
Oh my. Seriously?
But afterward, The public eviscerated him. He had to quit his teaching job. And yet, for poor Toshiro-kun, nobody was held responsible at all. And that includes me.
But if anyone was going to take responsibility for that, Mikoshiba should have been first in line. I'm sure Ehara-san must have thought the same thing.
You know what I wanted to be as a kid? I was so innocent, I wanted to be a teacher. And after Mitsuru-kun's tragedy, I felt practically obligated. And still, I just let history repeat itself.
It's a hard thing to have to get involved in. That's for sure. Especially to not do anything soon enough or, you know, at all. Let's go talk to Ehara now. Alright guys, we're going to cut this video off right here. Pretty sombering moment there with Yagami and Sawa-Sensei to know all the information she knew, to find out that she was essentially witness tampered and coerced into essentially not pointing a finger and saying what she knew because she couldn't prove without a shadow of a doubt that it was Mikoshiba. It's terrifying to think that that's actually like a thought process that could be out there. Like, having my son right now, being the little guy that he is, he's not in school yet, but that's something that I worry about. And I would want people to come forward and to say the right thing and everything. But still, let's get that off to the side. When we come back, there's going to be some interesting things going on at Yokohama 99 before we get to talk to Ehara. So I'm excited for you guys to see that. We may get into a couple of fights, but we'll see. As usual, though, thanks for stopping by. Don't forget to like and subscribe. We will see you guys in the next video.